is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Mike Sedita.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. I'm Mike Sedita. This is episode number 76, and we really do have a treat in store for us today. We have one of the nicest people I know in Wesley Chapel, Pasco County. We have the president and CEO of the North Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, Hope Kennedy. Hope, how are you doing today?
Mike, thank you so much. Number 76. That's so exciting.
76. It's an even number, but it's not a round number, but it's still pretty up there. So we're glad to have you.
Be proud, my friend.
So just so you know what the Good Neighbor Podcast is, how we got started, and you kind of lived through some of this stuff, is back in 2020 when COVID was going crazy, a guy down in Southwest Florida said, hey, let me start this podcast so businesses and organizations and charities could get their message out to the community so people knew what they had going on, even in the time when we all had to be super social distant and couldn't get in front of people and everybody was wearing masks and it was crazy. And now, 3 years later, the Good Neighbor Podcast is in Tampa, Atlanta, Virginia, all over the East Coast, South Florida. And I'm the person lucky enough to be here in Tampa that gets to talk to amazing people like you who deal with businesses all day long and do things in the community that are fantastic. So tell everybody listening, in case they are living under a rock and don't know what a Chamber of Commerce is, tell them specifically about the North Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce.
Well, first of all, thank you. And I love the picture of Norman. And I'm so excited that you guys got to do this. It's a wonderful addition to our community. And we've all had to evolve and adapt to the ever-changing needs of our community. So what better way to do it than reach the masses this way? So the North Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce has been around for 26 years. We were formerly known as the Wesley Chapel Chamber of Commerce. We literally started in someone's garage as a way to connect the business community to the schools in Wesley Chapel. Wesley Chapel back then was just a little baby town. We didn't have all this fun stuff that we have now that you get to talk about on a weekly basis. Over the years, we've evolved as an organization. In the beginning, we like to say we were the 3 Ps: chamber, parties, pageants, and parades. That's what Chambers of Commerce did. We had Santa, we passed out maps, we did all the fun stuff. And as the years went by, the business community really needed a leading voice of business for the community. So our chamber took that role and we evolved from a 3 Ps chamber to a 3 Cs chamber. And the best way to put that into perspective of what a chamber does is we're a connector, a convener, and a catalyst. And those are the things that we do extraordinarily well. So over the last couple of years, we have evolved from Wesley Chapel to North Tampa Bay. It was because of a merger that we had with New Tampa Chamber and then the Trinity Odessa Chamber back in 2018. We couldn't just be Wesley Chapel anymore. We needed a name that encompassed all of the areas that we served. So we, like our community, have experienced a tremendous amount of growth. Chambers of Commerce have been around since the beginning of time. Since commerce was around, the Florida Chamber actually came together to eradicate the cow tick. The cow tick was going to take out all the cattle in the state of Florida. And so that's how the Florida Chamber started. So it's a group of business leaders coming together for a common purpose.
And I know we've talked other times. This isn't the first time we're meeting each other, but some of the advocacy stuff that you do for small businesses, you do that in Tallahassee, right?
We do it here locally in Pasco County. We do it in Tallahassee. And I have walked the halls in Washington, D.C. and really advocate for our business community here in our region. Yeah, and big part.
So the other big thing is, someone says to me when I meet with them, are you a member of the Chamber of Commerce? And for me, like what the chamber means to me is it's a couple things. It's a designation that you're a part of this larger group that is for the betterment of the entire area. That's number one. It too also kind of connects you to other businesses. So it is a way of networking your business through the chamber, but it also creates that connectivity. So when I see someone in Odessa and I say, oh, I'm a member of the North Tampa Chamber, and it builds that almost like that stamp of approval. Like, listen, you're a part of this group. I'm a part of this group. We don't have a secret handshake, which is, I'm kind of still hoping for that, but we don't have that right now. So
we can arrange that.
Well, I mean, we can work something out, but I think that would really help people bond more. But that's a different discussion for a different day. The big thing is, though, like, where does our chamber rank in the North Tampa Bay area? Across, like, how many chambers are there in the United States, and where does ours rank?
You're just throwing me softballs here. Like,
I mean, I heard it's a good chamber. That's the reason I joined the chamber.
Well, so we just got back from the National Chamber Conference. There are over 3,000 chambers in the United States. Pretty much every community has a chamber of commerce. And we rank in the top 3 in the nation. For chambers our size, we were a finalist for Chamber of the Year. We just got back from Salt Lake City. We weren't able to bring home the ultimate prize of National Chamber of the Year, but being a top 3 in the nation is an extraordinary designation, something that we are very proud of. We actually are holding that 2 years in a row. We were Chamber of the Year for the state of Florida in 2019. We have many recognitions, not just on the structure of our organization, because that's really the foundation of it, is how we run our organization, the governance, but it's the results that we've had as a chamber with advocacy, with our members. If you see a strong community, chances are there's a very strong chamber behind that community. And if you've never needed proof of it, Wesley Chapel, North Tampa Bay is absolutely it.
So, and I was going to say that it's been a couple years in a row here. We've kind of been a bridesmaid. Is there a certain KPI? Like, is there a certain key performance indicators when they look at this award annually where we are falling short that we could possibly, or is it just kind of a cumulative thing of multiple different items that they look at? Or is there an area where us as a community could do better as a chamber?
So let me talk about the process just a little bit, just to give you an idea of how intensive this process is and how we got to where we're at. And yes, there's always things that we can do better. And as a community, I'll start by saying, so the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, it's essentially the association for chamber staff. It's our leadership development. It's our benchmarking. In order to be invited to even submit an application, you have to do a benchmarking survey. The survey has, I think, 6 categories. Each category has subcategories. They're everything from your fiduciary responsibilities, your policies and procedures, your board minutes, your programs, your membership, all of these things. And only the top, I think, 10% get invited to apply after you fill that out. So those are all numbers, 100% numbers. You have to fit within that to even be invited to apply. The application, I believe ours was close to 35 pages. And in that application, the very front page has 6 attachments just on the front page, which is your bylaws, your financial review by a third party, your marketing plan, your communications plan, your retention plan. I know I'm leaving something, your strategic plan. So you have to have all of these documentations just to be able to move forward in the process. So you submit an application. All of these questions have number limits on how many words you can use. They want synopsis of 2 programs that you did during that year with metrics. They want numbers. They want to see how you move the needle towards your goal. The last 2 years, we have not gone into our program of work for that year with the idea of applying for this award. We don't do the work that we do to win an award. We do the work that we do to support our business community. Our 2 programs that we submitted for this year and in the year before were items that came up during that year that needed fast action. So our two synopsis, one was the employee retention tax credit, and going on a campaign to inform our business community of the employee retention tax credit, that it's not a scam, that you are entitled, the language had changed, that businesses could indeed apply. That was our synopsis one. Our second synopsis was advocacy on workforce housing. Pasco County had put a moratorium on multifamily housing units. At the same time, we were suffering from not enough housing for our workforce. So it was like counterproductive. So we went to task with the county commission. It was not an easy thing. It wasn't something we went into the year to plan for. So where we fell short, Mike, was being able to have hard numbers around our programs. They really want to see, what was your budget? What was your time usage? What were your results? Those are things that if you have a specific program in mind, you're capturing that throughout the year. Whereas we didn't have those numbers throughout the year.
So some of it was reactionary.
So it was very reactionary. Both
Right.
of those items, while in our strategic plan to facilitate that, those were not our program of work for that specific year. Those were, we call them quick action items that as a board of directors, okay, we need to get on this, let's do it. Whatever, all hands on deck, let's make this happen. So I think if we really want to go for the win next year, which, I'll tell you, after two losses, I'm not sure if I could stomach another one, but we just really need to go into a programming with gathering that data up front so that we're not just trying to put things together there at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, right? Like you're flexible enough to shift on the fly to handle these immediate needs for your business owners and help them out. And I will attest, those employee retention credit, I get about 17 calls a day on my phone about somebody trying to sell it to me. It's legit. But on the flip side, you don't have the data to be able to produce what you need to produce. But I think one of the beautiful things about the chamber is, and you kind of touched on it, it's really not, I mean, the awards are great. It is very cool to be a member of a chamber that finishes in the top 3 the past 2 years and has done so many, great things to be recognized in that regard. But it's more about what's going on in the community that's the more, I would think. I mean, actually, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I would think that's the more fulfilling part of it, to be able to go to businesses and meet with them, and they say to you, we're glad to be a part of this group because we see value in what it brings to our community.
Absolutely. And hands down, the best day is when a business said, if not for the chamber, this would not have happened. That is what drives us every single day, not the big shiny award. It is our members that are benefiting from the work that we're doing. We can account for $3.5 million coming back to our community because of our advocacy for the employee retention tax credit, because of our information sessions that we did, that our members, if not for the chamber, are getting that much money back into our community. So that one we had a little bit of information on, but it wasn't 100% accurate. That's just what people were willing to tell us. So,
right.
So our work is so many levels and so many layers for our business community. I can go from having a conversation with a one shop owner to a board meeting to I might be with the governor tonight. I mean, it's just all depends. And we have to have that understanding of the needs of our community and be able to speak at any level about our members and about our business community and what the needs are.
Well, I can tell you personally from my experience, the connection part of your C's is, I run a business, I do marketing in the community. I'm very, embedded in the community. I know people everywhere from New Tampa to Odessa and anywhere in between. And there was a particular business, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but I had tried to work with this business because it was perfect for what I do for about 18 months. And through my connection through the chamber, that connection was finally made. And it's one of my best clients that I have. And they're happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. That is the beauty of the chamber, giving that validity. Like, hey, you're a chamber member. I'm a chamber member. We're both trying to make business, do business and make a living, but we're also trying to be a part of the community. So that is one specific connection that, I don't know if that's attributed to your metric and your number or not, but we could talk about that offline.
And I would love to have that for our website just to share. We don't have to have numbers or specifics. It's making those connections. We tell everybody we can bring you to the party, and what you do with it is completely up to you. We're just giving you the opportunity to showcase yourself and your business. You can meet 100 people and not get any business out of it, but it's up to you. It's up to the business to work that opportunity.
And, I know from an operations standpoint, you operate pretty lean and mean in your office. There's not a lot of fluff that's going on there. Your team operates. I mean, tell us a little bit about like how many members, like what is the North Tampa Chamber's office staff like, and how do you, I know you run it very, very strategic.
Yes, and we have always been a very lean and mean team. Before COVID, we were a staff of 4, and we have always been hovering around 600 members. We're at 633 members today, and we are a staff of 2. So we are very deliberate with our time spent on our members. Our members do the selling of the chamber for us. I took a very different approach when I took this role, and we would not actively solicit for new members to join our chamber. We don't have a sales team. We don't pay retention. We don't pay commission, because we believe that membership at the chamber is an investment in your business. We're going to give you a return on your investment that you can indeed see. But it's our members and our ambassadors and our board who all sell our chamber all day long for us. We had 3 members join Friday afternoon. Not one of them had we actually gone out and solicited to join. They had heard about us from somebody else.
Well, I will tell you, number one, I heard about the chamber from one of my favorite people on earth who is a chamber ambassador, and that's Lisa Moore of the Hilton Garden.
Yes.
Love her to death. She's the one who brought me into the chamber. I could also tell you from networking organizations that I'm a part of, and I'm part of several, and I'm not going to name any initials or names or anything like that. The chamber has, like, the number isn't even like I would need Stephen Hawking to calculate the number of how much more the chamber has returned for me than anything and everything else I do. Some of it I just do for the fun of it. Other stuff I do actually for the investment, and chamber has blown it away. And lastly, I will tell you, I've been trying to become an ambassador for 2 years, and I still can't do that. That's still locked out. So I'm not going to lie. The whole reason you're on this podcast is to try to grease the wheel to get into being an ambassador at some point, so I can start to go to more events and be a part of stuff. But again, we'll table that discussion for another time. Also,
we'll take that offline, Mike, and please know that we have not kept you out. You are very much welcome to be an ambassador. Interestingly enough, everyone's an ambassador of the chamber, and we don't have an official ambassador program anymore. It kind of fell apart with the whole meetings in person, but we have a core group of our members that just love us. I will get you a tag that says ambassador. We just don't have you did it.
Worth every bit of my time. So let's talk about some other stuff that you guys do. I know that has kind of changed over the past, I guess, 18 months, year or so. You guys have updated a lot of your infrastructure, like your website and things like that have really been upgraded. And your office location, that was the hardest thing for me, honestly, living on the east side of 75 to go to the office and do the turnaround and pull into the parking lot and go to the back building. I'm very, very excited about the moves and some of the infrastructure things you've done. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm glad you are, because it's been a rather painful couple months for us on our lean and mean staff of 2. So our lease expired at our office in Highland Oaks back in December, and we were able to stay up until March. The price of the building went so high that we did not feel comfortable passing that along to our members. Again, going back to lean and mean, that is part of our fiduciary responsibility. You as a member, we couldn't justify that expense any longer. So we looked at some options, and what we found coming was at the Shops at Wiregrass is a space called Signature Workspace, and they are building 26,000 square feet of co-working space, along with a boardroom and some meeting space in there. Unfortunately, they've experienced some delays, so we haven't had a home base per se since March. Definitely going to be there as soon as they open. We're going to have an office at the Shops at Wiregrass, right in the heart of Wesley Chapel. But in the meantime, we have set up location at Bexley at a company called Floor & Co. And it is a co-working space, and
It's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Oh my God.
I was just there last week. I mean, absolutely beautiful space. And that's one of my community. Bexley's is one of my communities that I work in.
Yeah.
They're doing so many great things out there.
And it's a family-owned company that there's no public dollars involved with it. They are there every single day. We have fallen in love with that. And so without spilling all my beans, I am making a presentation to my board next month for us to keep that location. And so that we'd have 2 locations. Look, you just got breaking news.
What? Breaking news. You heard it here first. Who knew that could possibly be an option? So that really is cool, because I got to be honest with you, Hope. The one thing, as you've seen Wesley Chapel grow so much, I drive 54 all day, every day. So if there's people on that side of 54, that side of Odessa and Land O'Lakes that have a location out there, and the folks over here have a location over here, that really, to me, is like a game changer as a chamber. You're giving multiple access points for business owners.
Absolutely. And this opportunity just kind of fell in our lap. And I just presented today at our board meeting. In fact, 40 minutes ago, I was just presenting this topic, got their blessing to move forward and explore. While it's not official, the board will be voting next month. So if you see any of our board members, put in a plug for us to do that. I think it'll really help us best serve our diverse geographic
100%
business community.
100%. So tell me a little bit, we have talked, I mean, I know you have a daughter in college, you have a whole bunch of stuff going on personally. How do you get here? Like, you've been with the chamber forever in varying roles in different locations and all that stuff. But like, as a young woman growing up, like, were you in high school getting ready for prom saying to yourself, someday, I just want to run a chamber of commerce. I love business owners. Or was there some other like hope and dream, and this is kind of where you landed?
So, I get asked that question a lot. And I will say, I did not know what a chamber of commerce was. There was the JCs, which was the junior chamber in high school. And I will say, I was in the business club. I started college to get a business degree. And I was at college in Jackson, Mississippi, and I needed a job. And my boyfriend at the time he was working for an IT firm. He was later my husband, working for an IT firm that happened to have the contract at the Jackson Chamber of Commerce. And they were hiring for an administrative assistant. And got to know people to get into places.
Yeah,
I didn't know what a chamber was.
Right? Why I'm on the chamber.
They hired me to be in the membership department, and they said, oh, you'll just have to take donuts to all the members and make sure that they're all happy. They gave me a stack of papers, and keep in mind, this was in 2001. And so they said, here, call all of our members, make sure they're happy. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't even have an office, had no idea. So I have grown up in the chamber. My whole career has been chamber. I went from Jackson to Pensacola. And Pensacola, I was the vice president of membership. And I was sharing with somebody today that my team, just in the membership department, had 7 employees. I had a $3 million budget.
Wow. Just
in membership at the Pensacola Chamber. So I really learned a lot there when I was there. And then I came here in 2011. And so I've been here ever since. I guess it's 2011, 2012.
And you have how many daughters?
I just have one, and she's not quite in college yet.
Oh, I thought you were tripping up to Gainesville for was that just to scope out schools?
So I was in school in Gainesville.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She is exploring schools. She was in New York, in Manhattan, and up in Hyde Park, New York, looking at schools up there. She is a senior in high school at Blake, the performing arts school. We just have to get that girl graduated this year. And so, yes, I just have the one.
So you took her to New York. Did you take her in the wintertime so she could see what it's like before she actually goes up there? And she still thinks she wants to do it, huh?
She does. She said she's tired of being a Florida girl. She needs to explore up there. We'll see. She's looking at the culinary arts right now, and so if I can get her over in Orlando, it might be a little bit easier transition than all the way up to upstate.
Yeah, that's definitely it's a plane ride. I mean, that's not just a hey, I'm going to come home on the weekends and do my laundry. That is a big step, but sometimes that's what kids want to do, to check things out and kind of go out on their own. Moms, on the other hand, have to deal with the empty nesting part of it and figure out, what you're going to do with. You're going to have to apply for more chamber awards and travel all over the country to other places.
I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Legit. Like I've started thinking about, oh my God, this time next year, my kid's not going to be living with me. Well, what am I going to do with myself?
So that brings up my next question is, so what does Hope Kennedy do for fun when you're not cutting ribbons and shaking hands and kissing babies and meeting with business owners? Like, what is like downtime for you? Because every time I see you, like, look, everybody meets me and they're like, oh, you're so enthusiastic. It is like a mind thing for me. Like, I have to get in the mode to be able to do this and to do networking. Every time I see you, you are like on point. So when you unplug, what happens?
I die. I go home and go to sleep and sleep in my bed, and I don't people at all for 2 days.
2 days of peopling recharges the batteries.
I gotta stop peopling and just go and lock myself down. For fun, Mike, quite honestly, I love my job. I love what I do. I do it at nights. I do it on the weekends. I do it with friends and people, and I get on occasion I'll crash and burn and need some time alone, but I absolutely, what I do, I don't feel like it's a job. I feel like it's who I am. It's in me. It's just what comes out.
So no binge watching Netflix. You don't have a show.
I totally watch Netflix.
All right, so give us a show. Give me a show.
Right now, I'm watching the morning show on Apple TV.
Very good. I've seen the new season. Isn't out yet, is it?
No, I'm just watching it for the first time.
Okay, so it's really good. All right, I like that. That's a good one. Okay, I could see you in the Jennifer Aniston role in that show. I
have found a lot of similarities, and she's going through the divorce right now with her teenage daughter. I can totally relate now, to that.
Is Jen gonna play Reese Witherspoon? Is that gonna be?
Well, we get along a little bit better.
You gotta wait till the relationship goes. You guys get along too well.
Jen and I have been together. She was with me 5 years ago, and so coming back, it's just been a wonderful addition to my family here at the chamber, and it is just like having your sister with you, and we get things done. We take names and get things done.
The last hard-hitting question I have is, who hangs on to the scissors? Who hangs on to the giant scissors when they're not at a ribbon cutting? Does Jen have them in her car? Like, if I'm gonna break into somebody's car, is it Jen's gonna be stabbing me with you have the big scissors? All right, so I
have them in my car right now, and thank you for that very gentle reminder that I do need to give them to her. We have a ribbon cutting this week. Those scissors are very sharp, and people have gotten hurt, so we have to keep them in a very safe place. In fact, we do have insurance that covers any damages related to the scissors.
Yeah, I know they're sharp. Look, I don't look like a smart guy, so I guess people, when they say to me at the ribbon cuttings, don't let Mike hold the scissors. He's only allowed to hold the ribbon occasionally, and I have to stay far away. So they must think I'm just going to stab myself with the scissors. It must be the thing. So I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to do something to make myself look smart. I'm going to let more gray hair come in my beard. That'll make me look
okay.
I'm going to work on that. So
A little seasoned.
As seasoned, thank you. That is a proper term. Very, very over seasoned at some point. But people listening to this, as we wrap this up, to join the chamber, like, it's not an arduous task. Like, what is the way I'm a business owner, I'm listening to this. How do I join the Chamber of Commerce today?
The best thing to do is check out our website, which is northtampabaychamber.com. We are extraordinarily social. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. But our website has the most up-to-date information. We've got a button right on the front page that says Join Now. Membership is $325 annually. That's 365 days. For your membership, one little shameless plug is we are an official Google partner. So all of our analytics and our back office in our website is connected with Google. Google uses it as a trusted source of information. You can't even buy a Google listing for $325 and get the kind of exposure that being on our website gives you. So in addition to all the great things that we do, that's your immediate return on investment. And
Right.
we love to show our members that benefit. But our website, northtampabaychamber.com. Find me on social, Facebook. Ask Mike. Mike's a great ambassador.
I'm now an ambassador. Ask me. I'm going to have a badge. So
anointed.
So yes, I'm going to have to be like. Is there a sword? Is like Excalibur involved that I get?
That's where the secret handshake comes in.
Or maybe the scissors. We could use the scissors to anoint me. We just can't snip anything.
You can't run with them.
And ears or anything like that. So. Guys, if you're out there listening to this and you're a business owner and you're thinking to yourself, like, where can I get that little extra advantage? Less than $1 a day, $325 for the year. I can tell you from my personal experience, like I said, I would need Einstein or Stephen Hawking or Charles Turning or somebody like that to calculate the return on my investment for being in the chamber. It is a great way to meet people in the community. It's a great way to meet other business owners. And the team at the chamber is great. Every time you see them, if they're not running to a ribbon cutting, they're at least always smiling with what they have going on. Hope Kennedy, President, CEO of the North Tampa Bay Chamber, thank you so much for being on the Good Neighbor podcast.
Oh my God, my pleasure. I can't believe it took me 76 people. I wanted to be the first.
Listen, I tried. You were my very first phone call, and I had to get better at it first. I wouldn't have been made an ambassador if you did the very first podcast with me. I needed a little time to get a little bit better at it, to get seasoned at it so that I would be successful.
Listen, did you see my first Chamber Roadshow video? It was horrendous. By the 131st, I was a pro. I looked like a natural CNN reporter.
Perfect. You could be a CNN reporter, but that's a topic for another day. Thank you so much for being on. We'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Passcode. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnppasco.com. That's gnppasco.com or call 813-922-3610.